Shanti. These are some thoughts on the Murli of the 10th of February 2022. Today Baba is beginning the Murli talking to us about the importance of feedback. When these Murlis were spoken, the Brahmin family was probably about 1,000 or 2,000 people. And Brahma Baba was very hands-on, very involved in everything. He used to want to hear from all the children all the time. So he would be expecting maybe 2 short letters per week. And communication was very important. He was very much like the head of the family. And he saw it like a family. So just like he would have been involved with his Lokik children, the Brahmin children were also his children. So he would want the news, both practical and spiritual, and then he would give feedback, he would write back. I got an insight into what Brahma Baba would have been like through my experiences with Dedi Janki, because she was also like that. In London, there was also a small family, maybe. I think the class when my mother began going was about maybe 40, 50 people. It wasn't very big at all. And so then Dedi was very personally involved in people's lives, and she used to equate maturity with communication. So she felt that if we were engaged in a mature relationship, we would have very good communication with each other. So that's really the spirit behind what Brahma Baba is also saying as well. And then, of course, as time moves on and the family gets bigger, those things are not so possible because there are just too many people. And Brahma Baba then, his role changed to the subtle region. But I think we all get that feedback through the Murli, and we get the feedback through the Bhog messages. Yeah. Again, today Baba is saying to us in the Bhog message that our light of yoga is not powerful enough. And it's interesting, he's explaining that there are some yogis in the Brahmin family where their yoga is very powerful. And so their light is reaching the elements of nature. And nature is also then responding and getting ready to respond. And those souls are actually being served by nature now. Nature is ready to cooperate if the Brahmin soul has that light of yoga power. And it takes time to build that yoga power. So Baba is saying that for some, it's there sometimes and not at other times. And then for others, they're still engaged in their own challenges and battles inside, and also then thinking about others too much. So you can see that we do get feedback from Baba, but in a different way nowadays. And then Baba's second topic today is around the hierarchies that are natural within the cycle. Baba's explaining that there's always a hierarchy, but that hierarchy is always changing as well. So in the Golden Age, it's also a kingdom. And you've got Lakshmi and Narayan, and then you'd have other kings. And Brahma Baba is reminiscing that in the days when there were kings in India, when he was growing up and when he was an adult doing business, then India was very different. Now it's a democracy and it has very different structures. But it used to be organized around many different kingdoms. And so you'd have the king and queen, ministers, and then subjects. So you've got this organization around hierarchy. So this hierarchy exists from the Golden Age onwards. It's like a natural order. But Baba says that these things are always changing. So the ones at the top, they will then come down over time. So you've got Lakshmi and Narayan and their hierarchies, and then you've got Sita and Ram. And actually, as you go around the cycle, then the ones who are ruling the world, they're also coming down the hierarchy, aren't they? So by the end of the cycle, Brahma Baba was an ordinary person. So the one who was at the top of the tree, who was the soul of Narayan, then ends up lower down the order. So Baba says this is the way in which the drama is made. So we have a hierarchy, but also no one stays at the top permanently. We're always shifting and changing. So since the Copper Ages, we have the different religions come, the religious fathers come and they establish their religions, and they're like a family. They also have their own hierarchies as well. And Baba says that you've got these four major faiths. You've got the deity religion, then you've got Islam, Christianity and Buddhism. So these are the four great faiths with very large populations. But the deity religion isn't there anymore. So Baba is saying the three brothers are there, but the fourth brother is missing. Because it's now the Hinduism, which is like the memorial of deityism, rather than actually anyone being a deity. And so Baba is saying that then with each of those religions, like you say, if you've got the early Christians and Christ, so they would have been higher in the hierarchy, and of course they're remembered at that time, but then those souls take rebirth. So maybe now they're in a more ordinary Christian form. And all the way throughout the centuries, souls are coming from the soul world who belong to the branch of Christianity. So it's like different generations of souls continue to come down, and they are new souls, so they might be at the top of the hierarchy now. So the current, say, for example, in the Catholic Church, the current leadership, they might be new Christian souls, a new generation that's come from the soul world. And the older Christian souls, they might be more ordinary Christians now. So this is the way in which it works. If you watch nature programs, then you see it with the animals too. Like if you have a group of monkeys, there would be a hierarchy among them. Even if you look at the plants, where you have a jungle, and different trees as well, they have a hierarchy, like who's accessing the sunlight, who's accessing other nutrients and resources. So they're also competing with each other for position and power. And then our societies are like that as well. And there have been attempts through history to create equality, but they don't really work. So one thinks of the French Revolution, and you've got égalité, equality is one of the principles. But then you end up having a president and a prime minister and court system. So when you organize society, you end up with a hierarchy anyway. And then you think of communism, and there was a big with the Russian Revolution, and a big experiment with that in the USSR, and then also China, some other places too. But when I was 11 years old, when we joined high school, then the first book that we were taught in English class was English literature class was Animal Farm by George Orwell, and that depicts how he's using an allegory of a farm to depict communist USSR, that the animals overthrow the farmer and take over the farm. But then even between them, they develop a hierarchy. So they start off with all animals equal, and then they put a comma, but some are more equal than others. It's a very famous line in literature. And you end up then with someone at the top. So the elites always emerge in that way. And Baba's saying that this is the way the drama is made, and you're always going to have that. But ultimately it's always changing as well. So people at the top come down, people at the bottom then come up. And so now it's time for you, the Lakshmi and Narayan and the deity souls, to come back to the top of the tree again. The one that is always the highest, who doesn't come up and down, is Shiva. So he always remains the highest on high. So he sits separately from our hierarchies down here. He doesn't come and get involved. And he just remains consistently the highest. And then finally, Baba is reminding us about the power of his canopy of protection. And so every day as we take Baba's help at Amrit Vela and stay in Baba's remembrance, it's very helpful to remind ourselves that the biggest thing that Baba can do for us at such a vulnerable time, like the end of the Iron Age, is to protect us. And there are so many things that could go wrong, and Baba is putting his canopy of protection. Often I think that Baba has protected me from myself as well, that I would have made lots of mistakes, and I did make mistakes, and it could have been much worse, but then Baba has protected me all the way through as well. So I think it's also very helpful to remember that canopy. Shanti.